Yo, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing all right. Tried a different camera angle today. This way I can keep a better look if it goes out, see if it's charging or whatever. It's straight on. Hopefully this works a little bit better, but I lost my little background. I'll have to figure something else out. Whatever. Hope you guys are doing well. GM, GEGA, whatever, wherever. I hope you are doing well and that your day being today, Tuesday, April 8th, has gone well. Sorry I'm a few minutes late, but make sure that you guys mash that like button as it says on the screen right here. Let's do this. You can also, that was all day yesterday. We had the mash. So here is follow me on JChains X over on the X.com. Appreciate you guys being here. We got a special announcement today. A huge, look, up close and personal. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, special announcement. Speaking of my guys, 6 a.m. Dougie Fresh. Let's get it taken home. The gold today. Yes, congratulations, sir. Today is all about you. I don't know if you're a lottery guy, but you should maybe grab yourself a scratcher because maybe it's your day, man. Maybe you'll get more than the $1 back. Maybe you'll get $2 back, or maybe you'll win like a 5 pence. Stones. That's weight. Pounds. That's what it is. Yo. All right. Up close and personal. So I didn't change it. Still the Sony ZV-1. But now I've got it like within the hand's reach. It's not behind my teleprompter. And so if like for whatever reason it's not charging, I'll be able to get to it faster. But anyway, that was yesterday's news. All right, guys, go ahead and smash that like button as you get in here. We're going to get into We're going to get into the general market, and then we'll get into some stories, and then we look at some charts, see if there's anything that we can get into as far as trades. I know we got fucking nuked again today in the market, another 2.5%. We'll look at CoinMarketCap here in just a second. But I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. At some point, I feel like it's all gonna change, and we'll be, you know us guys, we'll be looking at the charts, we'll be looking at the indicators, watch for things to turn around. Hopefully, we don't get faked out or whatever, but there's just nothing. Are we in a bear market? Is it going to keep going down? I mean, I didn't think so before. I thought that we would have leveled off and maybe started to move back up. I know a lot of people called for some pain this year, but we've already got a lot of pain, and in the stock market, I believe, has made its return. We'll look at the S&P 500 when we look at charts. But at the end of the day, we're going to stay on top of this. And if things keep going down, we'll keep looking at the levels. We'll keep looking at, there will be times where things go up and, up and to the right a little bit, even though it's been down and to the right a lot bit since December, basically. But hey, we are permables here. That we are just straight up, all of us. Well, maybe some of us are not. We know that, but that's okay. It's okay to be pragmatic. But when you listen to the things that I've been talking about, that basically cryptos live in this bullish divergence where we have got, basically every single headline every day is such amazing news from these countries buying, governments adopting, you got these product ETPs launching, you got all sorts of things happening like that, right? And so again, it's this bullish divergence in crypto that we're seeing. Is the price going down? It's being manipulated, and the news is getting better and better. I mean, the banks allowing, the FDIC saying, hey, you want to use crypto, go for it. All sorts of things are happening that are just insane headlines. But the price keeps going down. Don't worry, it's a market. You've heard me say this for years now. It's a market. Markets are cyclical. What goes down goes back up. We just got to play the game. We'll play the game well as long as we need to, and then we'll be reaping our rewards for it. What is up to the chat? We know Doug got the gold medal. Mike Lowry bringing home the silver. Blocky, my guy, bringing home the bronze. There you go. That's the medalist for today. Mr. Baseball saying, what a brutal couple of weeks. Give me something good. You know what? We're going to go through this, and we'll find some opportunities. Here's the deal. Here's funny. Yesterday, I told you guys about this. I tweeted it. Told you I was going to do it. I don't know if we talked about it on the show and all that stuff, but I created that portfolio, the $500 portfolio. So here it is. We're down a couple bones. JASMY actually went up. JASMY went up $2. Everything else down $4 to $5. So there you go. We're going to keep track of that. We'll see how that one goes. So, or in case you didn't see it, you were waiting for me to tell you. Render, Fetch, Graph, Pith, and JASMY. Those are the 5 coins. We bought $100 of each to make a $500 portfolio. We'll see what happens. Where did we get those? Why do we pick those? Well, it's a great question you asked. You should ask that kind of question more often. Before we dig into CoinMarketCap really quick, a couple more shout outs still. Ellie, what's up? How are you? Welcome to the show. Hugo, Ren 1010, my dude. High Life AK, let's get it. We should have sold it all in January. Yeah, probably in like December, actually. You know what I mean? Hindsight's always 2020. Again, I'm a perma bull. I am very bullish about a lot of things in crypto, especially when you look at all the narratives. But when we do take the pragmatic approach, there are a couple things, as you guys do know, that scare me. You look at the 6-month chart, that looks a little crazy. I think if you zoom out Bitcoin all the way, and you pull like a support level, 35 is like doesn't break structure. I mean, there's some crazy shit, and we can look at that stuff later if you guys want. But I do want to look at more opportunities, try to make some money here versus the doom and gloom. But when in doubt, zoom out. You're all right, Doug. Yeah, we were all avoiding the taxes. Instead of getting a tax bill, we got wrecked. Smash the like button if you got wrecked in December. I wonder if I could like my own video. Or like, I meant to say, if you got wrecked since December. Hey, yo, what's Carmen? What's up? What a week. She says, what a week is right. It was last couple of weeks, man. They're going to be choppy. A lot of news, a lot of stuff coming out. So here we go. All right, let's do this. Let's bring it here. Or let's try. Here we go. What happens if we do this one? All right. Here we go. All right. So we got CoinMarketCap. The market cap is 2.43 trillion. It was I believe like 2.49 or 2.47 yesterday. So again, we lost a little bit. The CMC 100, so that's their top 100 at 146. We don't really ever look at that too much. But what we do, some things we do like are the altcoin index coming at 17. Let's take a look at this, because when I was telling you a little bit before about that portfolio that we put together, we had done it through this tab right here. If you go to the CMC altcoin index page, it is 17. So it's telling us that basically we are nowhere near altcoin season, which we know it's Bitcoin season. Definitely. It's Bitcoin's bull run. It's institutionally run. It's all they care about right now. That will change, and we'll check the dominance, because you will see that is still going on. Now, we peaked out at 64 yesterday, but we're heading in at like 63.5 today. So it's not like it's going down. That will be the indicator that the altcoin season is going to be coming back, which we all are ready for. I know that. I know we got some maxis in the community, and that's good. But again, going back to that portfolio that we put together, this is the top 100 coins and their performance over the last 90 days and how they stand up. Here we go. Bitcoin is obviously in orange. So this is like our metric. We're going to hold everything to the standard. If Bitcoin wants to be the GOAT, as it is, then we're going to give it its own color so that that's what you are going to base everything off of. So as you can see, over the last 90 days, Bitcoin's down 18.5%. Couple coins, as we've been going over this, just a handful of coins have outperformed Bitcoin that you would actually have in your portfolio. And I'm not trying to coin shame anybody, but you get it, right? But anyway, so if you were to look right here where you got Bitcoin, here, let me move this up a little bit more right here. Like for instance, like XRP it was hanging out in the green last week, and it started itching its way up here. Now it is way below where Bitcoin is. But what we did is we went all the way down here to the bottom, and we ended up scooping 5 coins that we thought were going to perform pretty well, seeing that they're down so much. Okay. So again, we ended up getting Render, Fetch, Graph, Pith, and JASMY. Those are the 5. So that's where we put together that little port, the little port. All right, back to CoinMarketCap here. Fear and Greed Index at 19. Like I said, let's look at our top coins. Bitcoin coming in at 76.7. Man, we didn't think we'd be saying that right now, did we? Down 10% in the week. ETH 1466. Got a question for you. I am going to do a poll. I'm going to do a poll for my people that are watching over on the YouTube. If you are watching on X, you can just type it in the chat. That's totally cool with me. I don't mind that. Will we see ETH under 1,000? I got it. We're gonna do triple digit, man. This is shit we were talking. This was shit that we were talking about a while back. A while back. That threat of the triple digit Ethereum. Are we gonna see it again, or are we gonna level off and come up? But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think the new $500 portfolio could do? A 10x? Scad. So let's, you know what? What we'll do is we'll go over those coins specifically when we get onto TradingView, and we'll kind of take a look, and we'll do some referencing. That'll be like our little assignment for the day. We'll take those 5 coins and we'll do kind of like where we think they're going as a little guesstimate. Nothing, nothing crazy. 10x or bust? I mean, I think so. Like, I feel like when renders, like, if this is a long term or if this is just for this bull run, we'll see. Like, what's the deal with Render and the Apple partnership, right? Like, what's going to happen with all the stuff that we had heard about throughout the bear market? When is this stuff coming to fruition that we can start expecting the this marketing or some of the stuff to pay off? I don't know. So yeah. We'll see. We'll chart all that stuff. We'll figure it out. But definitely think that we could. I mean, if JASMY and PYTH and the graph, remember, they were dog shit performers. If they actually wake up and run this time, those could be the leaders, man. They could be absolutely massive. Massive. It could be massive. You hear me? Let's see. Everyone wishes for lower prices, but no one has the will to buy when it gets there. Bet you everyone would snap you had for a 3-digit ETH last cycle. I tell you what, I know, man. When that shit, I'm with you though. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of this poll. Maybe we should do an X poll too. You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. My guy Doug. Let's see. Will we see a ETH under 100,000? Yes. Absolutely. Nope. You crazy. And then we're going to do one more and I'll be like, huh? All right, we're going to do that poll for one day. That we'll check back on it tomorrow. There we go. Let's see, view this. Let me get that. And I will drop that in the chat for you guys if you want to check there. If you want to get into that poll too, you could do the one here on YouTube. And so far, 60% says no. 40% says yes. I tell you what, that would be wild to see. I would probably, to be honest with you, I would put orders at like 998, right? As I think probably what I would want to do. And then assume that if that does hit, it's going to be Wick. It's going to be Wick City. And so there you go. That would take care of it. And so it's not like, it's a conviction like, oh, we're going down here to sit here for a while. That might be this. You remember, before things kick off, there is going to be the shake and the bake, baby. It's going to shake and bake like they did on Ricky Bobby, man. I know that was a slingshot move was the name of it, I believe, where they would take the car, move around it. But there is going to be the shakeout before the breakout for sure. And so, I mean, what's the number? What's the number? I mean, holding spot is one thing, right? Like, that shouldn't scare you at all. That should just, if that happens, that should just be the Why buy old tech? Man, because it's going to be enterprise level shit, and you reap the rewards of that. Like with Ethereum, I'm not saying buy Ethereum. I hold very little Ethereum. Ethereum is like gas. I hold it as gas money to move like other things around, right? Right now, I may have a 2 Ethereum stack or whatever. Again, it's just really to send to other wallets if I need to move stuff around or whatever, right? I'm not doing really any Ethereum NFTs. I did just buy some Supreme Kongs, so I take that back. I bought some Ethereum to do that. And I mean that's it. But the whole being that it's going to be enterprise grade, it's not, you're not going to lose. And I think Trump was right by saying it's a great time to buy Ethereum. It's going to pay off in the long run, right? It's going to pay off in the long run. Retail's not really going to accept the high gas fees and all the bullshit if the blockchain gets really hot and heavy again, because that's as we know, as the network activity speeds up, those fees start to churn and burn. And so it's the layer twos that are holding it up. I mean, the whole thing is, it's like, what for me, I would put more attention into base. Like I have probably way more attention over on the base ecosystem than I would in Ethereum, only because it is faster, cheaper. I feel like it's going to be a lot more accepted, and there's going to be a really big push for that ecosystem to grow when retail does come in. I mean, it makes sense for here in the United States, and so that to me is kind of the move versus Ethereum for now, until I hear otherwise. But it doesn't mean that you're gonna make money with Ethereum, and I think long term you're probably gonna do fine. But just know, look at the let's see, does it show up here, or because we're on the, because I have the so it's 1.36 is the gas for Ethereum. So as you know, we've been tracking that. That's just been down to like 0.46. I think what we saw the lowest at, it was hanging at 0.74. Sometimes it would get above 1, something like that. But I mean, it's the lowest it's been. I mean, you guys know historically that shit's been like the 60s, right? Or even 70s, especially when the market gets up. So we'll see. We're talking about it now, like below 1 or below 5 or single digits, whatever, however you want to classify it. And as we get really more towards retail push of the bull run, I'm sure that number is going to totally change. And so H bar and algo, yep, those are two good ones. There we go. All right. So Bitcoin not 76, you had Ethereum at 1468. All right, so we got our poll in. That's where we left off there. XRP 182, come on, down 15% almost on the week. BNB 553, Solana 104. At least it's back up over $100. Still, it's down almost 17.5% of the week. Tron number 8, hanging in there, man. For whatever reason, that one's doing better than most. 23 cents, but it is only down 2.5% of the week. Number 9, Dogecoin, 14 cents. Man, just the other day we were talking about Dogecoin at 28 cents. Dogecoin coming in at 14 cents, down 666. Ooh, you don't even seen my screen. I got to show you my screen. Yo, Blocky, my dude. What's up, fam? Congratulations on your bronze medal today. There you go. Now you guys can see what I'm seeing. Doji, Cardano back at the number 10 spot. There we go. All right, let's look at some losers on the day. Let's look at our winners really quick. Anything? Core fart coin. I tell you what, man. I tell you what. JASMY likes to see that. It broke out of its little wedge there momentarily. And we may be back down a little bit today, but we'll see what happens. Any other things moving? No, not really. Let's look at our opportunities here. EOS. Nope. Volta Finance. Remember, that's what they're rebranding to. EOS is rebranding to Volta Finance. Lido down. Nope. Near Protocol. No Pepe. Damn. We should. Well, thank God we didn't. That was going to be some meme coin exposure on that 5 coin. Good thing we didn't buy any of those meme coins. They're all right there. Pepe, Shib, Floki. Well, it was Floki, Pepe, and one other one down in those big time losers in the last 90 days. They're down 70-something percent. You imagine you're gonna take another rip like that. Good thing we did not add Pepe, because that's the one we were gonna add. Because I thought strategically that would probably be be doing the best over Shib or Floki, but there was another one. Ondo down to 71 cents. I'm in an Ondo long right now. I'm probably going to put some more into it and buy my entry price down. This is going to be, I mean, unless this is something, and I've got a ways to go until my liquidation. I am not worried about it at the moment. If we start getting worried, I will add some more onto the trade. But this trade is something my goal is to hang on to. It's going to be something that, we'll be able to show frequently. And then at some point we'll get out. I'm not going to do like the whole bull run kind of thing. That seems a little crazy to me, but we'll figure it out. Crash it. He's buying. Bitcoin Henry, that's the thing. Like at this point, like there's nothing's gonna scare us, nothing's gonna hurt us, nothing can bother us anymore. That should be the case, right? Y'all shouldn't be bothered by this anymore, unless today is your first day in crypto. You bought yesterday and you are down 6% today, and you came from the stock market and you're like, oh my God, what the hell did I do this for? Unless that's you, and even if that is you, listen up right now. Like you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay. This is all gonna come back. This is probably, and especially if you're new to this ecosystem, unless you're already fucking loaded, this is a great opportunity for you to learn, stack, build, grow, do all that kind of stuff. You're gonna have a few months to make the magic happen, and that's really exciting. So. Down 40K, not bothered, right? The port is just been whacked in half, just maybe even more. It is what it is. It's going to come back, but now you got a chance to buy more when it's cheaper. So when it does come back, remember, if you were here in December and you saw your portfolio, you're going to see that plus a lot more, especially if you're keep stacking. So keep stacking, baby. Keep stacking them chips. All right, that's kind of it for our losers. Really nothing big. Let's look on the week though. I think that's probably what we want to do, is look on the week. Lido Dow down 30%. Cheeto down 30%. Near Protocol Immutable. There was a time, man, Immutable. That was on the list of big time losers over the last 90 days. There was a time, man, that I thought that thing was going to $100. Got sold a bag of dog shit. Trump coin down 27%. Ton coin. Isn't the guy out of jail? I thought it was supposed to be like doing better now. I guess there's a lot of things that are down this much though. Friday kicks. Jay, I've put down 42K. It's now 15K. When is the alt season? We'll show you. Let's do this. All right. You guys can see TradingView. You know what I'm gonna do? We go. There we go. All right. So let's see. That is the Bitcoin chart. What we want first. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. This is what you need to be looking at, especially if you're trying to figure out when altcoin season's happening. Y'all remember that run that we had in November, in December, the end of last year? Bitcoin dominance dropped 10%. That's what led altcoins to run like they did. And what has Bitcoin been doing since? Dominance has gone up 15%, almost 16%. So you're right. No. Crypto gamer, you don't have to retract your message. You're right. This is all speculation. This is 100% speculation, and something could fucking nuke the chart. And tomorrow it could look like we're hanging off the like this is Sylvester Stallone and Cliffhanger. We're hanging off the edge, like about ready to just take the dip of all dips. It takes a 3% rip, and then all of a sudden it goes up 20%. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. No one knows when this is going to happen. We can speculate, but what we can do, and that's kind of like what I said, like in the opening of the show, is like, I'm still gonna Here you go. Here you go. Who wants to take a hit? That's a hopium joint. Like, I'm gonna be smoking hopium. All of this. Like, I'm a permeable. Like, I've been telling you that. Like, we're still gonna be. I'm an optimistic person in my life. I'll be an optimistic person in here, but we'll be pragmatic about this. Like, look, the charts are shit. The price is going down. Like, I get all that, but what we can do is we can watch this stuff. And if we are watching the Bitcoin dominance chart, that is literally the key. Unless the market is nuking, the entire markets are going down. If the Bitcoin dominance goes down, that should be the key indicator that that's altcoin season, especially if prices unless the market's not like again, if the market's nuking, it's different. But if the market's not nuking and dominance starts going down like what we saw in December, there's your indicator. Started at the mid November, ran through early December. As we know, that was a great time in all of our lives. Well, I thought we were going to be. That was it. I thought that was it. But do you really think the institutions at this point will let the market go to an outright bear? I don't think so. Maybe in years past, Brian. Dealing with now that we're dealing with institutions, there's a lot of things that we have to reconsider. I even think if you guys tuned in to the blockchain basement, I was there hanging out with Drew today. We got to talk about this a little bit, and I talked a little bit about this show too. But it's the whole Bitcoin 4-year cycle, and at some point we outgrow that. At some point, crypto and blockchain outgrow the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. And I feel like this potentially could be happening because of the acceptance of crypto and the opening into the world of mass adoption, which is set to happen like soon, right? And when you think about all that stuff, it's just man, oh man. I just no. So at the end of the day, Brian, I don't think that institutions are going to let this go into an outright bear. I feel like there is so much more at play. So much more at play. You got again, it's the bullish divergence that's happening. It's the government's getting in. It's the headlines. It's the banks. It's the SEC backing away. It's all the stuff. We got a couple headlines that I got pulled up. Ripple's buying a prime broker, Hidden Road, for $1.25 billion today. Ondo Finance saying big banks are going to launch their own coins. Justice Department scraps the crypto unit. Treasuries and private credit are going to lead the tokenization wave. I mean, like, you literally can't. I told you when I was telling you like this, the bullish divergence is happening. Like, you read those headlines. Like, if you read those headlines in 2018, 2019, 2020, it would blow your mind, right? These news articles that would come out were paid pressers by projects that would send a project 30, 40, 50, 70%, 100%, whatever it was. Back in the day, it didn't even have to really, it was just a paid presser. These are real fucking headlines, real things that are fucking happening with the mass adoption of crypto. If you're selling right now, you're a bozo. If you're selling because you need to make money, I get it. But if you're selling in fear, you're a bozo. Saw some guys chart saying altcoin season won't be until 2028. Man, I mean, I don't really understand if Bitcoin dominance. I mean, look, let's go back. Like, the Bitcoin dominance has been in basically a massive uptrend since that. There have been some sharp moves down. I gotta move this so you guys can see this a little bit better. Over the course of time. This is back. So right here is like the beginning of 2022. So this is 2021. We dropped. Let me set that for you. We went from 73% down to 40%. We dropped 45%. Let's see. We got Friday. We are 4-year cycle followers. Look up, and it's your North Star. The thing is, the 4-year cycle with Bitcoin, I get it. And going back to that, like I understand, but at some point the ecosystem is larger than what Bitcoin is, right? If you think, like, say the RWA ecosystem, 16 trillion. We'll use the smallest number that we see conservatively, 16 trillion by 2030. Bitcoin's market cap, and I know Bitcoin is one, the RWA ecosystem is many, it's apples and oranges, but I'm telling you, like, this is outpaced and this has outgrown Bitcoin, knowing that Bitcoin was started as a movement. You've heard me say this, and you're probably annoyed with me at this point, but Bitcoin was started as a movement. It is now being accepted into the global financial ecosystem. So that unto itself, when you're talking, is apples and oranges, where it started and where it's at. Amp Knight says ETH low will be 1,200. We will not see ETH past 4,500 if this cycle's alt season continues. I think so. Alt season is going to be probably contingent on some things. I would say, like, something that we need to consider is, if we do look more into a Max Payne style situation where we see some more legs down that are really painful to scare people out, that would clean and this is something I think our space needs, and it is something that we go through bear markets. And so whether you want to call this a mini bear or local bear or whatever, it potentially could be something that we need, something to clean up the space, to get rid of some of the scammers. Sometimes when that stuff gets bad, and when we go through bear markets and that goes away because there's no money, the liquidity dries up, so there's nothing to scam, and scammers will always find a way to scam. I don't get me wrong, but they usually go away and they go find somewhere else to scam. The people that don't belong in this space, the money will run out. Unfortunately, people that do belong in this space, the money will run out, and it will be given back to the hands that can hang on. That to me, when we clean that up and get rid of it, I mean, whether you like it or not, millions of altcoins is fucking stupid. Just fucking stupid. When I got into this space, there was 10,000. CoinMarketCap had 10,000 coins on. 10,000. That was in 2017. Maybe it was probably less than that, but I know it 2017, 2018, 10,000. Maybe it was 7,000. I'm getting it confused. Somebody would probably know. If you know, drop it into the chat. 2017, what the CoinMarketCap, 2018. Maybe it's a little bit later is the number that I'm thinking is the 10,000 one. But anyway, that delusion, that amount of delusion, not loco delusion. If you add a lot of water to your coffee, it's called worm water because it's diluted with too much water. That is probably what screwed up this entire bull run. And so let's kind of recalibrate, right? Why not? Stock market recorrected 20%. That technically is a bull market, or a bear market, excuse me, in the stock market. I know 20% in the stock market is not the same as 20% in crypto. That's like 20% in crypto is like a Tuesday. But I remember when Coinbase only had Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Yeah, absolutely. I was telling a story the other day about how my buddy and I, way back in the day, we were playing. This is when Ethereum was $300. We were playing basketball at Lifetime Fitness, and we would play for a tenth of Ethereum a game. And games got, and we were playing before this too, but I remember, we pay probably the most, $30, $35. So, 300 or 350. for whoever won a game, and we play 6-7 games in the morning. So it would go back and forth, but we'd run up tabs, and it was like, man, that was interesting. Interesting to think about. So that's something I'd thought about in a while. Was when ETH was $300 or below. I think 75 might have been what 75 something. I don't. Anyway, that's trying to make a memory happen, but. All right, let's do this. That is enough coin talk. Let's do a couple headlines, and then we're going to get into some chats. But before we do that, I do want to remind you guys to please go ahead, smash that like button, mash it really quick. Here's a quick word from a homie.
Mash that like button. Oh, Dad, how about this one? Mash that like button.
Now get ready for more different ones of those. I was talking with my daughter, and she wants to shoot some more promos, and so over the next couple of days we'll probably try to do some of that, and so that'll be fun. She enjoys. She comes in here. They're napping. My wife and daughter are napping right now, but she usually comes in here. If she misses the show, she gets mad. It's really funny. So hopefully she'll wake up and she'll be here. We'll be on for a little bit today. So mash it. Like, share, and subscribe. That is right. Thank you, David. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get into some headlines. Here we go. Crypto firm Ripple is going to prime broker Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. Woohoo! That's a big sale. That is a big sale. What is Hidden Road? Hidden Road offers clearing, prime brokerage, and financing services across foreign exchange, digital assets, derivatives, swaps, and fixed income. They currently clear more than $3 trillion annually across markets with over 300 institutional customers, including hedge funds. This acquisition marks as one of the largest in the digital asset space to date. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, the $1.1 billion Stripe sale that was to buy Bridge. That was a stablecoin thing, if I'm not mistaken, right? So that was back in February. So this is bigger, 1.25 billion. Boom. Got a quote here from our guy, CEO Brad Garlinghouse. This is a big deal for Ripple. This is also a big deal for the industry. As the entire crypto industry gets more into traditional finance, we need top-tier infrastructure to be able to support the financial institutions that we want to come in. Interesting. Ripple valued at 11.3 billion in 2024. Share buyback. Let's see. The plan is for Hidden Road to use the RLUSD stablecoin. Boom. That was their stablecoin that launched in December. It's collateral across the company's prime brokerage products. Let's see. Garlinghouse said collateral is key, and the acquisition of Hidden Road remains subject to necessary regulatory approvals. There we go. Boom. The deal will close no later than the third quarter of this year. All right. Look out for more of that. Here's a little section on regulatory tailwinds. Let's see what happens here. Ripple scored a major victory last month when the SEC dropped a proactive legal case against the company that accused it of conducting illegal securities offering. We know that. Very exciting. Oh, another quote from Garlinghouse. Deals like this make a lot more sense when you have a supportive regulatory environment as opposed to the open welfare legal tactics. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. This is, again, I can't really stress enough, like, when you see headlines like this, like Ripple buying a prime broker for $1.2 billion, them using the RLU, from what I understand, I don't know the metrics of the burn, right? But if you're not aware, RLUSD has a token burn mechanism that actually will burn XRP, making it deflationary to some extent. Now, it's going to take a lot to burn a lot. But if a stable coin takes off like that, like takes off, that could be substantial. And, it's like, I think then the XRP almost becomes gas in that ecosystem, which is weird. Could be wrong. I could be wrong with that. And if anybody thinks anything differently about that or whatever, I would love to have that conversation. But does effectively XRP become the gas in that transactional scenario? Hmm. On to our next article. As you guys know, we love Ondo Finance. Went to the Ondo Summit, the Wall Street 2.0 in New York City. It was amazing. I learned a lot, and definitely have a big bag of Ondo. It is my number one hold in my portfolio, as most of you guys know. I know I got a lot of Ondo outlaws in the community. That's what we're are. Like, here's the deal. If other people want to be, you guys have heard my little spiel on this. Like, if we were at a conference and it was like, click night, everybody's clicked up with their coin, and we're walking down a dark alley late at night, and the XRP army's there, or the H Barbarians are there, or heck, even the ADA gang is there. We can't show up and be like, hey guys, we're the Ondovians, because they'd be like, beat down city. But if we'd be like, yo, motherfuckers, it's the Ondo outlaws, it'd be like, respect. I'm just saying, I think here within the walls of this community, we are the Ondo outlaws. I even have a tattoo about outlaws. This was my COVID tattoo, by the way. You can see it on my arm right there. Because when freedom is outlawed, only outlaws can be free. Makes sense around the confines of COVID. Although I lived in Texas, so it's not like shit didn't shut down there like it did other parts in the country. And I know out of necessity in some other place, people had tougher times. I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying, in Texas, it was a different world. In Georgia, here, a little bit of different world too. And I know some other places too, but I was in Texas and Georgia. There was no way I was going to New York City. That was not my, I was not going to live by those rules. Not now, not never, no way. Is it Mother's Day for Doug? Or like in the UK? Happy Mother's Day. Or was recently, wasn't it? Yeah. It was like last weekend. Happy Mother's Day, all. Happy Mother's Day, mothers. If you're a mother, if you want to be a mother, if you plan to be a mother, if you were a mother, shout out to you. I don't know when our Mother's Day is, but it's probably in May, around the 11th, right? Somewhere there. I should know, but I don't. Shout out to my mom. She's probably watching. All right. Ondo Finance says big banks could launch their own coins. That is, we've talked about this, and I think a lot of people are talking. It's get yourself your Chase Bank coin, your Bank of America bucks, your Banco bucks. As the stablecoin sector stops $200 billion market cap, Nathan Allman, who's the CEO of Ondo Finance, believes that we're on the verge of a major shift, but it depends on regulation and how we define a stable coin in the first place. Obviously, this is how it's all going to go down, because the stablecoin war is going to be big time. This is going to be big business. You mark my word, because this is what's getting the first push for the regulatory approval, I believe. Let's see. He was with Scott Melker on the Street Roundtable. They discussed the growing speculation around how stable coins will evolve if the U.S. introduces favorable legislation. Let's see. Allman believes it all comes down to what kind of stable coin they're talking about. The question was, Melker asked whether they'll see crypto native tokens like USDC and Tether dominate, or if big players like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, or BlackRock might launch their own coins. Quote we got here: for what those of us in crypto conventionally view as a stable coin, an asset that can be freely transferable, there are quite a lot of network effects from having deep on-chain liquidity and acceptance at a variety of places where you can use it as collateral, pay with it, etc. In other words, decentralized and widely used stable coins already have a big head start. That makes it harder for brand new entrants, even for major banks, to break in and compete at scale. You're looking at, they're in the top 5, right? Top 6. We've got Tether's got a $144 billion market cap. You got USDC's got a $60 billion market cap. I mean, listen, you could come in and you could make it happen. But those are some pretty high market caps that just like come in and take over. You say that, but manipulation is key. Let's go. Let's see. All that said, Alman does see room for bank issue stablecoins to thrive under a different model. In a more permission system, it is a lot easier to build fungibility and shared liquidity between assets issued by different institutions. So, like the whole thing would be, you can't, USDC is not allowed onto your Bank of America crypto ecosystem, but there could be a swap, right? For you to swap your USDC for your Bank of America bucks. And this way, everything that's in-house on the system is Bank of America bucks. They get all the crypto on the back end. This way, if people want to, and maybe there's a way to go back into, traditional crypto from your Bank of America bucks, or maybe you're out of luck there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Block Dog. Let's go. The future could resemble today's banking system where deposits from different banks are interchangeable. I do think it's quite possible that we see a large number of different bank coins, but that end up being interoperable in a similar way that the bank deposits are somewhat interoperable today. Well, why couldn't that be XRP, right? If say Bank of America is doing all of their internal transactions with XRP, I assume that all of the external could be XRP. And if all the banks used it, then bada bing, bada boom, baby. That's just shout out to the XRP army. Throw them up. Let's get it. I'm all for it. I am all for banks offering crypto. That is, you guys know, that is the one thing. So in all this mass adoption talk, and we're seeing it's happening, guys, like, that, but in all the mass adoption talk, the original thing was, is it had to be as easy as swiping your credit card. As long as you can zoop, 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 then, people can use it. And that's as a currency, right? But as like more of an investment strategy. So I don't think we're there as the currency quite yet, but as the investment strategy, that seems to be leading the charge. It's really interesting. The idea of the whole investment strategy of crypto versus not being a currency because it's got to come in the stage, in the wave. We can't put the cart before the horse, right? That's really interesting. I've got to rethink this whole strategy now. That was one of those aha moments. All right, let's move on to this next article. We got two more, and then we're done with our articles for the day, and then we're looking at charts. Talking about how crypto was now a strategy versus the traditional markets. This is on the Mississippi radio. There you go. See, all over the world, baby. We did it. We made it. Speaking of like making it, and you can't be more bullish, you got the Justice Department scrapping the crypto task force unit as Trump loosens oversight of the digital assets. No reason to have the crunch force, boys, because there is no crunch to force. The U.S. Department of Justice, let's see, they were notified that they were disbanding the unit in a memo, the 4-page memo reviewed by. It was sent out by U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. The Department of Justice is not a digital assets regulator. However, the prior administration used the Justice Department to pursue a reckless strategy of regulation by prosecution. Damn, shots freaking fired. Whoa. I didn't read that before. This comes from the Department of Justice. However, the prior administration used the Justice Department to pursue a reckless strategy of regulation by prosecution. No, sir, Blocky. The horses don't push your cart, they pull the cart. They pull the cart. If they're pushing the cart, I don't think that's right. think you got to pull the card. Huge. DOJ declined the comment. Established under 2021 President Joe Biden. The NCET was a joint task force composed of prosecutors from the DOJ's money laundering and cybercrime units, as well as attorneys from other district offices. Woo-hoo. Let's see. They went after Tornado Cash, Arvin Eisenberg, North Korean hackers, the hackers. Blanche directed DOJ employees to focus on prosecuting individuals who victimize digital asset investors and not pursue cases against crypto exchanges, mixers like Tornado Cash and offline wallets. Okay. So there you go. All right, Blocky. My bad. All right. There is that article. I feel like this again, like you just when you see these things, when I see these articles, Justice Department, you just again, bullish news, bullish news, bullish news, bullish news, bullish news, bullish news, bullish news. This is such bullish stuff. Our indicators, our market cipher B indicators down below are starting to point up. Now our price is still going down, but things are going up. Looks like things are going back up instead of down $5 to $6 on our portfolio. Everything's down like 2 to 3 now. So, and JASMY's up $3. So, JASMY's doing it. The Divergence. All right, our last article. Do we? Yeah, we got through that one. Last article of the day. I don't really want to go through this one. I just want to get into the charts. We'll be brief about it. Treasuries and private credit will lead the tokenization wave. And this is from the Plume co-founder, Teddy. I got to say, he's got a fucking terrible last name. Pornprinya. Sorry, man. Sorry, Teddy. Real estate tokenization is overhyped due to long lockups and low liquidity, says Plume co-founder. Plume specialized blockchain integrates RWAs with DeFi, targeting global markets like Asia and Latin in 2025. There you go. We'll read this nice little article, this quote that we got here. Top of the funnel is something super liquid and super safe. So a lot of people go to different products that are like treasury type based. Apollo's private credit fund is also a pretty safe asset that there's been a lot of demand for. There you go. I know a lot of people are into Plume. Plume's a great RWA, been on an absolute tear. I did not buy enough of it when I should have bought more of it, as the story goes, right? I think we've all done that time and time again, and that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. But all right, I was gonna do that. Make sure you guys smash that like button. It's time. It is time to get back to the charts. Let me see here. I gotta come over here. We'll do boom bow. All right, let's go. I want to bring up a couple, and so we are going to do the top, the 5 that we put into that portfolio. We'll look at those 5 coins, and then we'll look at some other ones. Can you believe the articles and shit we had to go through as XRP and other investors? I mean, I'm telling you, man, the last couple of years have been. You guys know it. If you've been around, you know the drill. You took heat. Family members said, "What are you doing? This crypto stuff is crazy, man. You should get a real job." Stuff's never gonna last, man. Y'all saw the. Come on, man. It was great to be able to say, like, I told you so. It was better to say it when it was 100,000 versus right now, but it is what it is. My thoughts on ICP. I know a lot of people are bullish on it, but the all-time chart on it scares the shit out of me, man. I just don't like the way that the all-time chart looks. I know that there's a couple that are like that too. The JASMY all-time chart looks like dog shit, and a lot of them look like rugged-ass meme coins. But ICP is probably going to, because if you look at the year versus the all-time, the year has got some more activity. And I know people are going to be like, but Sammy. I get it. It's time for a new narrative there. ICP and H bar would be a big collaboration. Collab. I mean, it's probably going to do well. I just don't like the all-time chart on it, but you know, again, that's just neither, at the end of the day, neither here nor there, because there's other charts of coins that I like that would maybe look similar. It does look like everybody's favorite rugged meme coin chart too, though. Yo, Jesse, what's up, fam? Bow. So those are my initial thoughts on ICP. So we'll see. All right, let's go to. Here we go. Here is the total crypto market cap. As you can see, let's zoom this sucker in. There we go. More hopefully, so this, what I feel like is going to turn into our resistance point here. If we're going to see resistance on the crypto market cap, or I mean, I don't know if any of that is necessary. This is the total market cap, including the top 10. Now, when you say excluding the top 10, that's no Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, USDT, USDC, all that kind of stuff. This is also in conjunction with the Bitcoin dominance chart. So I think the move would be to overlay this with the Bitcoin dominance chart. You can do that, right? How do you do that? Maybe that worked. Maybe that didn't work. I don't know. I thought I added that. It added that red line, but maybe that didn't do the right thing. I'll get that figured out. But I would love to be able to put the two charts together and put them side by side, where we do the total, or excuse me, the excluding the top 10. So we do the total market cap excluding the top 10, and then the Bitcoin dominance chart, because that, when we start to see the market cap excluding the top 10 go up and the Bitcoin dominance go down, when we see those metrics, then we can start to really pinpoint the altcoin season. So I'm going to make a note of that. Boom, made the mental note. I got to put together those two charts. Okay. Bitcoin dominance. So as you can see, look, this one is going down. This one is going up. When those reverse, hopefully that's what I meant. Let's see. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, it was great to be on the basement. It was a lot of fun to go over and do that show. I love collaborating. Drew's a great guy. So I had a lot of fun going over there. Not gonna lie to you, like, you know, it was I had some like nervous feelings going over there like in the morning, or when I was driving over there this afternoon. Yeah, it was like later this morning. But they all went away, man. It was fun to see some of those guys and to say hi and, you know, go do that show, and then chat with some old friends and colleagues on the way out, and just be there. So it was a cool experience. Definitely shout out to Drew for inviting me over there, and to all those guys. So all right. Boom. We'll look at the ICP chart. I will look it up for you guys. Don't you worry. Come on. Don't you worry, little lambs. All right, here we go. Here's the Bitcoin chart, sitting in at 77.2, huh? So it's continued to drop a little bit since we've been on the show, but other things have gone up. Okay. All right. Well, we'll take a look at this. All right. Let's see. What do we have that we can look at? Where has Bitcoin? I would say our first lines of defense, if we are going to stop anytime soon, let's mark where we are now, right below it. You know, could be here. This is also a spot right here. And you can pull fibs and all that stuff too, but you know, just for the sake of, all right, let's take a look at some of these things where these could be our stopping points. However, if you look right here, We had this was, we built up some volume kind of ranging there for a couple days. This is the daily chart. We did touch here, and then we're sitting here on support. So hopefully we don't go down, a lot more. I know that that's not kind of like what's the plan. Over the course of the last couple of days, we can say that we've put in. I mean, let's find anything that we can to be bullish, right? At the end of the day, like we did put in a higher low. That's a good thing. So we'll see what happens. This could be the beginning of the turnaround, right? This could have been just a little bit of a fake. That's the triple deek, right? Wasn't that from Mighty Ducks, the triple deek? The pop, pop, pop. We're going up. We're going down. We're going up. It could be doing that. All right. That's the Bitcoin chart. As you guys know, I do not trade Bitcoin. I was looking at this morning. Were we going to do a cup and handle? Nope. So we can get rid of all of this work right now because that did not play out. In fact, it did the opposite. It completely broke down. So we have no more. We have that. That's our positivity. But again, this is only the last couple of days. Let's look at on the daily here and see where we're at, because man, we've been kind of in that free fall mode. And I feel like the last time we looked at this, like the 50-cent range, 54 cent is kind of what we would be expecting if we were not going to be holding some of the levels we were on. And so wicks, I think it's always wise to say what was once a wick can become a body, right? Like for sure. Like it tends to always come down and find that. And we almost did that right here. But as you can see, if we do come down, this 51 cent is in play. I hate every second of it. I hate every second of that, only because, like, I mean, we want this fucking thing to go up. We want these coins to go up, but this is something we got to think about. Is like, are we going to see this keep going down? So, as time goes on, ladies and gentlemen, friends, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be just watching these zones. I mean, I don't trade the shorts, man. I don't put shorts in. I like to go long. Again, permable. I've done shorts and I recently did a little baby short, but I don't really like to short. And so we're in a downtrend until we're not. So we just keep looking at different opportunities. Okay, well, all right. Well, so Ondo, I am in a long, but again, I have a very low liquidation point. It's below, it's like below 60 cents. And so if it starts to get that low, because look, if we kind of flatten this out and we were to actually look at this, I think it's like a 25% range. If we're just going to do bodies, right? So we're going to go from here. So Ondo has been in a 27, almost 28% range for the last 28 days, for the last month. And I probably, you know what, to be honest with you, let's just do this. I'm going to take both of these so we can give ourselves a full 30, and we're taking all the bodies. So there you go. A 25% range in 30 days Ondo has been trading in. Basically sideways, man. 25%. What is this? The stock market? What is this? Wall Street 2.0? Just kidding. As you can see throughout the history of time, things are way more volatile. So we are ready for things to go up. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, we may see it go down a little bit more. But honestly, at the very minimum, I think a lot of people, if I'm not, you guys can disagree with me. If you want to disagree with me, you can. That's fine. But so that right there is July 1st. That's the beginning of the second half of the year, H2. That's the beginning of quarter 3, right? Like, that's when the bull run is supposed to, really, do we really think that we're going to continue to go all the way down? I mean, there's major investment, and this is just Ondo, right? And somebody had said something and some of this kind of stuff before, like, why do we really think that, these major firms that have invested in this shit is going to allow this stuff to continue to go down? No, at some point the switch happens, and maybe we have to line back up with what we saw in the fall right here. With this kind of stuff right here, I mean, we are starting to do that. Maybe that's our range point, and from there we go up. I'm gonna keep an eye on this every single day. I will let you know what I'm thinking. We're obviously gonna, if you want to trade short, man, you can absolutely do that. That's not my game. I'm not into that. I feel like the upside, this isn't going anywhere. This tech isn't going anywhere. The upside is far greater than the potential that you could get out of a short. And so I'd rather just be patient and be ready and catch the long when the time is right. And again, if I got to buy my my long on Ondo down a little bit more, I thought 75 cents. Yeah, it's at 71. Was it 71.64 right now? It's down a little bit, but at the end of the day, like this is going to be a fantastic entry point for when the bull run does kick off. And it is, if it's something that, I mean, I think up as far as like even the funding rate goes, I'm up. And so the trade may be down, but it's not for long. I'm getting money because of the funding. So until something, that's my plan there, because I want to nail this. I want to nail this Ondo long. This is something that I want to do. So anything could drop fast these days. Look at PYTH. I bought it 42 cents. Where is PYTH sitting right now? Like 11 or 10 cents, 9 cents. 11 and a half. To me, PYTH is like one of those. I don't mean to draw a line there. PYTH is one of those that we call it the absolute underperformer of one of the cycles. PYTH, graph, all of it. I mean, we did get up to 55 cents, but it has dropped 80% down to where it's at right now. For 11 cents for PYTH, I have a huge bag of PYTH. I haven't sold it. I round tripped it. I didn't sell it 55 cents. We had gotten it back in the end of September leading to October when it was what? 36 cents. So down, definitely down on the port for PYTH, like everyone else is. I mean, literally at any point in history, if you bought PYTH and you didn't sell, you are underwater. Even yesterday. Well, let's just double check that. Maybe yesterday you might be up. If you bought this wick of PYTH yesterday, you bought the all-time low. Good for you so far. That could be it, though. What if that was it? What if that was the Giga Chad bottom? Why does it do that? There it is right there. Somebody nailed it. Somebody nailed the PYTH bottom. Good for them. All right, let's go through our portfolio here, and let's see. Let's start with let's see. Well, this was PYTH was in there. Okay, so PYTH was the first one. We are down a little bit on it, but it is what it is. So that was our little spiel on PYTH. I mean, I must say, like, you love trading PYTH. Okay. What's your strategy? Are you swing trading it, day trading it? Are you scalping it? What you doing? What you doing on David? What you doing on PYTH? Or are you just spot buying it? Just kidding. Nobody in the history of you can't spot buy PYTH and hold it long term and win. You will lose. What's proving that unless you bought in this little green circle here. Okay, so there was our PYTH. We need PYTH to go at some point. My goodness. All right, let's go to Fetch. FET. Let's go to. We definitely want to go to our Femex, which, by the way, before we get into Fetch, I do want to say shout out to Femex, sponsor of the channel, doing an Easter competition. Make sure if you guys want to sign up for that, there should be. Let me just double check that it's in there. If you go to the bottom of the description, trade with us on Femex, click that link if you want to get involved, not only in the Easter trading competition, if you just want to start trading. There is no KYC, no VPN needed. That is gone. I've whitelisted. I've done all this stuff so you don't have to. That's what I was told. I was told that my account is whitelisted so that you guys can come and trade. So you are very welcome. So click the link, start a new account, start another trading account. Everybody's got multiples. You don't have to just have one. This is going to be the one that we're going to nail some trades together. Remember, we got a few days until the trading competition. So hopefully the markets are a little bit better by Thursday. That's the kind of goal. Let's do this. Let's do this. Sign up, trade. Remember, up to $50 for the first, I think it's the first 500 people. Up to 50 USD on your first trade, they will reimburse you. What kind of deal is that? That's amazing. So sign up. I want everybody to sign up. And then I'm going to be opening up the Discord. We have a Discord. It's actually the old school Meta Money one where I've reskinned it to make it more for what we're doing, the W3 BC Bulls Club, Bull Society, Bull something. So if you were in there historically, you are in it. I'm going to be adding some more channels. They are going to be private. They are going to be based on things that people are doing. So if you want to be a trader, you want to like you got to you can't just come in there and look at people's calls and charts and stuff and then run and do. You got to be part of the group and active. So you got to be in there and active. It's going to be that kind of a thing. And make sure that we're all, doing the right service to each other, letting each other know what we're looking at, the charts we're looking at. So there'll be something like that. Also, a couple other groups that just about anybody get into, talk about some fun things that are going to go now with the show. Now that the Web3 Breakfast is going Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So we'll have, groups so people can talk about that, stuff that they want to bring up, because like we did today, NF Tuesdays. And then I know everybody's got Discords. I know, man. I actually got rid of a lot of the ones that I was in. And that's well, what do I need them for? It was projects that, but I was doing things over the years, going into Web3 projects to ask questions of people in the community, to explore, to do all that stuff. And so, it was cutting some of those at, cutting at when the time was right, saying, you know what, here's the deal. I'm not going to be, flooding my Discord with all these channels and servers that I don't even go into anymore and then have that distraction. So I hid a couple, or at least put them in a folder of ones that I wanted to stay in, and then left very few of ones that I actually do go in, and then just left the rest. It was just time. It was just time. So shout out to the crew. Let's go. Smash the like. I know we got some people that are watching on YouTube. Let's go. Smash that like. If you are watching on X, hit the heart with your elbow. But make sure, I don't know, actually, let's see if that works. I'm going to show you guys really quick on how to like, in case you didn't know, on how to like a video on X. So let me go really quick here to my profile. All right. And profile. And the video. Here we go. So as you can see, all right. And you can hear me too. Actually, the right one. But so you're watching like this. And if you just turn your phone like that, you can see down here, there's a bunch of numbers and signs and letters and all that stuff. Definitely hit that little heart. Let's see. Does it work with your elbow? Oh, not with a sweatshirt on. Let's see. I've always said that you should hit it with your, hit the heart. Whoa. You don't have Doesn't work. Your elbow skin, my elbow skin. Maybe you guys could try it at home and tell me if your elbow skin works. My elbow skin does not work. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, so you just hit it. I had to hit it with my finger. The elbow did not work. See how it's red now? And then boom, you just go like this. Boom. And we're back. And so that's how you like a video on X. In case anybody was wondering, I just want to let you guys know. Let's go. Give me the link to the Discord. Okay. Jesse, I will DM you the link to the Discord after the show here. Don't you worry. I will make a note. Let's see. Jesse, link to Discord. Gotcha. I gotta turn the volume down. I keep hearing myself. It wouldn't do it with your elbow either, Doug. All right. So I guess like the elephant skin, that is our elbows and our knees. It's got different receptors than what's in our fingertips, apparently. We just learned that. I don't know about the knees. I'm not going to take my pants off to try like in a video with my knee, but maybe tomorrow. Maybe that's my new thing, is what body parts do and what body parts do and do not work to activate the like button. So I didn't think that whole thing through when I went into it. My bad. All right. Your David's elbow works. Well, maybe you have thinner skin. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Show's going sideways. My bad. Yeah. Let's get back to the charts, please. We're gonna get back to those charts. Boom, there it is. Fetch. That's what we wanted. Oh, so really quick, what I was saying was not only was the trading competition, the Easter one on Femex, plus we're going to be doing some other things on Femex. So I want everybody to sign up. Even if you have a Femex account, start another one. Again, multiple accounts is not a bad thing, right? You get a new user ID. It's good. You can do that. It's a freshie. Get a freshie. It's a fresh bull run. We're going to be doing all sorts of trading shit together. So come on along for the journey. Let's go. Link is in the description. I'm going to create a new overlay for the show that'll have something up there that lets you guys know as well where you can do it. See, I knew it. You guys are amazing. I knew the chat was going to figure out a way to let us know which body parts work for the phone and which ones don't. Just don't have your camera on. Remember, what if you accidentally take a picture and then suddenly send it straight to your mom or something? You never know. The phone works in mysterious ways, so be careful. All right, Fetch. This was that was a hand-drawn chart a long time ago. Look at that. We didn't hang on to that support, nor did we hang into that wedge. We fell out of that one. Usually we call those the triangle of love. We're gonna have to find a new name for the triangle of not love. We'll just call it that, the triangle of not love, because the triangle of love implies that it is going to meet its intersection and break to the upside because we love crypto and we're bullish. But when it doesn't work, then triangle of not love, unfortunately. And so Fetch has been going through a lot of this since the last time we looked. That's why, look, this is why it's one of those biggest losers. This is where we got our 5 picks from. We're from the top. They weren't the top, but they were our top 5 picks in the top 100 that had the biggest losses over the last 90 days. And we're talking 70s to like 66%, shit like that. Like these suckers, as you can see, are down over the last 3 months. But the goal with this portfolio is to watch that come back up, right? And somebody had said earlier, like, do we going to see this thing 10x? And we looked at the first chart that we were looking at here. We're looking at this one right here. So we bought $100 of it. Where we're at was, and this is Fetch. fetch, we ended up getting 256 fetch tokens, right? And so, all right, at 39 cents, say for whatever reason, and this was just last year, remember, there's the alliance, there's all sorts of stuff. Is this going to break its all-time high? I don't know. I feel like the narrative's kind of fallen. That can always change. Things can come back very easily. For it to get up to there is a 7.5x. So one of the questions I was asked, what do I see this doing? Do I see fetch doing an all-time high run, doing a 7.5x? It is likely, it is possible. Do I see it? I don't know. Now that I'm a bag holder, I have a feeling probably this 4.5x up here to like 215 is a little bit more likely. Let's draw that right there. Okay. So those are kind of the two zones that we're looking at. This actually, if we pull this thing back, does this align with anything else over here? Well, not really. Nothing. More of that though, that wick and this wick right here. That's interesting. That it came back up to that. Whatever. Right? It's not really telling a whole big story there. But okay, so fetch, I would say I would hope for at least $2 in fetch. Well, we'll see what that happens. That's or at least clear. Let's say we're gonna at least clear in my hopes and dreams and wishes. We'll clear that first line. We'll end somewhere up there. So that's my hopes and dreams and wishes for fetch. Bring it back to PYTH. PYTH is, this is insane to think that this is going to 10x to get back up to its all-time high. So $1.15, just under, we'll say. Where we're at today to get up there is no, shortchange that. It's like a 9x. 42 votes. Let's go. No. We'll see ETH under one. Yeah, a triple digit. That was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. It was, well, we see a triple digit. Was it, we see it under $1,000. 60 people said, or 60% said no, 40% said yes. Very interesting. All right, so let's talk maybe some more realistic numbers. We'd love to see it. Look, it got rejected up here at 55 cents. I would love to see PYTH come back up to that level before anything. There's probably, and we'll be pulling some fibs and all this stuff. Look, that had a couple spots there where we had a couple times where, this is where it messed around right here, and then we had a bump right there where it touched it and got rejected, and then that's ultimately the rejection that sent us and spiraled us out of control for a while. So ETH is a really bad performing asset and it's not cost efficient, says Jesse. I agree with you. It's not performing well. I mean, look at the ETH. Do we even have it? I don't even know if I have the ETH chart. Yeah, I do. Look at that. Look at that down slide. That thing is just, it does have some nice movements back up. But it is just chop, 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 chop. So it's just so Jesse, do you think it's gonna slow bleed, just like slow bleed its death, or do you think it's gonna be, do you think the enterprise level solution that it's been being built is actually going to happen? Let me know what you think. All right. So here's a little zoom out of Ethereum, right? Let me tighten that up for you guys. There you go. So this goes back. So this right here is 2020. Okay. This is the all-time ETH chart. I want you guys to notice what just happened in the last couple days. We completely broke structure from 2020. An uptrend from 2020 has been broken, and we didn't wick down and come back up. We bodied, and we bodied hard. I was a little extreme, sorry. But yeah, 1800 down to 1466. That's, I see a Jesus take the wheel pattern, but we have to see ETH around 1200, just my opinion. I mean, where's it going to stop, right? If none of that acted as any kind of support, where's this going to stop? You know, we look at volume, look like here's where our volume picks up the most, 1288. You know, let's bring this sucker back. We are at the lowest level we have seen since March of 2023. I would say we could. I would say that we could. Right? So that we don't create a lower low. And camera went on long enough. It said I did an hour and a half of work. I'm going home, and that's fine. Camera can go home for a little while and charge. Let's get through some of this stuff. Well, once as a wick becomes a body, what if we come down to 873? What if this comes down to 873? They technically we broke our structure on the uptrend, the multi-year uptrend. We know that. But we still have not made a lower low. And we can do that. We can keep that record by not dropping below 873. I know that scares the shit out of you motherfuckers. I know that is it was one of those text messages that said that my Coinbase something. I don't have a Coinbase, so we know that those are, you know, then you click the link and then you get all the wamboozled. But 873 scares a lot of people for Ethereum. I know that. Consider it a fucking opportunity. If you can get triple digit Ethereum, that is the opportunity of a lifetime. I fully do expect that Ethereum will have a place in history in crypto. There will be other things that run on it. There will be other things that serve a better purpose. We all get that. But a lot of you have to also think that a lot of this coordinated FUD was happened within this ecosystem to FUD the shit out of Ethereum. We know that. But there are better options for retail. There are all of us have better options that we love. I like using Base. I don't mind spending a penny for a transaction at all. I don't mind locking up my Base USDC and earning 4.1% APY. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Let's go. All right. I think we are moving on. We should move on to our next coin. So we did fetch and we did the graph. I'm sorry, we did PYTH and we did fetch. Now it's time to do the graph. And this is another one. Now, it is not, when we look at PYTH, look, PYTH has done this thing where it has gone well below the where we were looking at it in the fall before October, right? Well below. Like, yeah, it got a run up, but it has gone well below. You look at the graph itself has done well, man. I thought it had done a little bit better, but no. Nope. It has done the same thing where we were here And we are now down here. Steep fall from grace. When we look at our all-time, we're trying to figure out what are we going to expect from this little port. We got to zoom way the heck out. Scrunch this sucker up. All right, this chart goes back as far as July of 2021 for the graph. $1.72 is the all-time on this chart. If you guys know something else, please let me know. That is currently a 24x. A 24. I do not anticipate that happening. I do not think that. I could be way dead wrong. And let's look at the graph. GRT coming in at number 72. It's got a $707 million market cap. Man. What is the if you guys know, can you write it in the chat? What is that website to get if you do the market cap, you get the price, that kind of thing? Coinpedia, right? No. Coin Perspective. Coin Perspective. All right, let's share here. And let's go GRT, the graph. GRT, the graph. And if we want your target price, let's go back to the chart here. $1.71. 1.71. It would need a $16 billion. $16 billion. I mean, a $16 billion market cap. What is that right now? That is just below Cardano. Double of this, like double ton coin just below Cardano is what the graph would need to do in order to hit that all-time high that you're seeing right there. Highly, highly, highly doubt it. 5 cents is the graph all-time low. Damn. Let's see. Realistically, I mean, 35 cents would be a nice little. I mean, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. I'm guilty of all that shit, so don't fucking worry. You look at some of these other peaks as like metrics. You could even pull one of these back here. You know, that's a little closer to that one. I would just say, all right, let's just say from like right here. So like that would be like some wishful thinking, right? Like, oh God, I fucking hope that we go over 33 cents. That would be great. Let's, if we break 47 and we hit 50, that'd be wonderful. I mean, you can see there's really not a whole lot of volume up here. So you will get into price discovery soon. If you do break these, if you break this, you've got a chance to go up, and who knows what happens. And if it takes off and everything that's ever said and comes to fruition, yada, 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 that would be big. All the token releases on graph. Are they, we could look at token unlocks at some point, and really to make sure what that unlock schedule looks like. If they're doing a lot of unlocks and releases, then that's going to be one of those things that you'll never catch up to that market cap, especially with the dilution from adding. And I say dilution, but you're adding more coins into the ecosystem. Of course, it's going to, it's going to be harder to attain that same market cap with, with the added coins and whatnot. Have we checked token unlocks lately? No, I mean, like Swede did a big one. There's really, after the Ondo unlock, it is kind of, it kind of is what it is at that point. So, all right, let's see here. What other chart did we need to do? So we did fetch, graph, PYTH. We want to do JASMY and then render. Here's the JASMY chart. I told you, but we got this thing scrunched up, but good. Let's zoom it out. When in doubt, zoom out. So as I told you, look, you could consider this a breakout. You could consider this a breakout, a JASMY breakout. Are you ready? There you go. Look, this downtrend, and maybe it could be refined a little bit, maybe it's good, whatever, but there you go. This has been going down since December, and then let's zoom it on into here. Oop. And so, I mean, I'm telling you, at some point, this thing is going to rip a dip like a potato chip. And actually, that would probably work better. That expression would probably work better in a bear market. You're going to rip a dip like a potato chip. We could find a better way to say a pump, but this thing is going to go. This is going to go. Might come down another 2.5 hours. I kind of feel like, you know, the day will be over in a few hours across the West Coast, and at that point, you know, what's the time in China? We got to know what time in the China market. If you don't have your alarm set, if you don't have your time set, if you got an iPhone, you go to the app that's called Clock, and you go to the first little thing down on the bottom left, World Clock. You can set yourself. You can set all little cues of what time it is across the world. Like, so the time zones that I show are Beijing, Melbourne, Mumbai, London, Rome, Dubai, and I says Istanbul, but that's only because I went there. I connected there, and so I love having the different time zones throughout the world, because then you know where are the traders at. Like, it's 5:41 in the morning in Beijing, China. That means the China market's going to wake up soon, right? And so, like you said, 2 hours and 5 minutes. That is 7:40 a.m. Trading's going to get rolling. People are going to get up. People are going to start doing their thing. I know DGens will be up early and whatnot there too, but come on. At 7, 8 in the morning, it's time to get rolling. It's time to start trading. You know, in other parts of the world, you know, you got different times, and that's why you got to be paying attention to that, because the markets will see activity throughout different times of the day. Be cognizant of that. That's one of the beauties of crypto. So again, thinking about JASMY, and when the Asian markets wake up, you could see this thing absolutely go up. It is in breakout status. It is outside of the trend line. Even if we were off a skosh, we wicked up there today. Hopefully we can build some more body. We got 2 hours and 17 minutes left on this candle. So let's go. Jesse is in European Central Time. There you go. See, you know what I'm talking about. You got to play all the different time zones of the world, man. That's how this crypto game works. That's what's up right there. All right. Last but not least is going to be Render on this portfolio coins list that we are checking out here today. Let's go, as you know, Render USDT, so that we can pull up our chart from Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix. Guys, make sure you click the link down below in the description. If you want to trade with us on Phoenix, if you want to join the crew, do that. Remember, we're also opening up a Discord channel thing that is going to be strictly for also for the people that are part of that group. So Render kind of playing off this little support here. Let's draw our line here, and let's then zoom out and see the bigger picture, because when in doubt, zoom out, baby. And I think Render's got a great future. I feel like this is going to be a hold, even though this is kind of like a fun little show thing for the portfolio. For the show, for the streams and stuff. I feel like the Render is going to be a long-term hold, because the narrative, the potential, all the stuff that we heard, all the stuff that we had, kind of seen go on throughout the last, year and a half or whatever. Big partnerships, potentials, right? And so Render, if like the Apple thing comes all to fruition and you know, gets the turbocharge from there. But Render made a 38x in 2018. Absolutely. Take a look at this right here. I think we can see that. This chart does not go back. This is just the Femex chart. Let's see. We'll just pull a different chart so we can go all the way to the way back. Let's go spot on Binance. Probably take us all the way back. We got dinosaured out in 2022 on this. And when did you say in 2018? Huh. All right, let's try another one. Try this little market cap here. Nope. Render. Coinbase. Nope. Bitstamp. Man, we're getting dinosaur tailed out in 2022 anyway. All right, let's just go with this. So that's more wickage. Let's do more body. So $11. I feel like that should be kind of a cakewalk for Render. For me, I think Render is a big project. Now we got to do some of the tokenomics on this before I say. Let me just. It's been a while since I looked at the Render tokenomics. We've got max supply 644 million. So it's not terrible, right? Like I think $1 billion these days is kind of, it seems like a lot more than norm, I think, on smaller cap stuff. But you know, some of those run up or whatever. I've always traditionally loved lower supply coins, but you know, I'm starting to not worry so much about that. If you've got like, you know, 20 billion coins, like no one's interested in that. But if you got a couple 100 million, I mean, I'm not so tied to the 21 million is Bitcoin and that's what we're dealing with. I think that's a little short-sighted, but anyway. So Render, supply is not bad. So we'll see. When we look at this chart right here, let's look at some zones where we probably are going to see some activity. We'll see a fight around here. A lot of things we're going support and resistance over there. How does this look right here? I think probably here as well. So for the sake of just drawing a couple, here we go. So you can kind of see all the different times that we fought. You know, we fought here, fought a bunch of times in there, fought recently right here before we dipped, right? So that would be, I think, in my opinion, that's going to be the first line of defense right there we got to get past. And so that would be the minimum. Would love to see it actually break above this 6. So hopefully a 2, flip it for a 2-bagger, 2 or 3x, you know, get it into this zone right here and, you know, unload it any time, especially if it happened soon, if it were to happen soon like that. All right. Well, that's all those coins. That's all 5. That's what we did. We put together that portfolio of the 5. Let's see. This thing's been charging for a little while now. So let's turn on the cam. Boom. There we go. All right, guys and gals. Thank you. This was fun. I had a lot of fun going through those charts. I want to be doing some more actual charting for trading very soon. We need the markets to kind of pay attention and really kind of not be in just dog shit fall mode, which we've been in the last couple of days, and it may be more. But I'm hopeful that starting April 10th, starting this Thursday, that you know we can get into this Easter Femex competition and people can trade. And one thing I talked about this morning, I didn't say it today, and I just want to make sure because we got some more people watching today. Here's the deal. Most people say, fuck it, I'm not joining a trading competition because these guys are people with volume are just they're gonna win. What's great about this challenge is that there are different thresholds. Your trading volume determines where you like end up, right? And we will go through this. I put it out in a tweet. We can go through this tomorrow morning as well. So I want everybody to make sure that you get plenty of time to sign up for it, because April 10th is when this starts. Today's April 8th. So there are different thresholds in which your trading volume will still enable you to potentially earn a prize. And there's actually a pretty good amount of people that could win in those thresholds, right? For the big prizes, for the big dogs, there's only a couple, but the prize goes, the amount of winners goes up in people that, you know, for the different thresholds. So make sure you guys hop on out of here. Go smash the like on your way out of here. Go do something great. Be great. Go learn something. Go call someone that you've been meaning to call. Go do something you've been putting off. Remember, that's the kind of shit that's going to make you better. One thing I learned from, I forget her lady, the Spark Joy lady, put it away. Don't put it down. Put that one in there. That'll make you better. Put it away. Don't put it down. You guys.